But first tonight, yesterday it was in Delhi that two senior citizens were killed in a road accident when a speeding car mowed them down in the early hours of the morning. Now today we have another horrifying image that has come, an image that has come from Ahmedabad, where two people having tea on a roadside were killed when a driver lost control of his car. Sorry, in this case both victims survived. The question though is there no worth of human lives? Remember, the images on the left were what happened in Delhi when two senior citizens were knocked down by that moving car. It's part of a campaign that we are going to be running now on this channel, calling for safety on the roads. More people die of road accidents than of any other related accident in this country, and that is what is the image that we will continue to play over the next few days as part of our sustained campaign. The latest are those images when a driver lost control in Ahmedabad. These are the terrifying images that are coming in and really suggest something seriously wrong, even as the road transport minister, surface transport minister Nitin Gadkari is promising tougher laws. Remember, the student who you see on the left, whose car was responsible for those two deaths yesterday, was completely drunk. He was well above the required level, and those were the horrifying images. A brave constable was doing his duty though. He chased the driver, also saved many lives on his way. This is the man, the constable, who eventually caught the driver who was trying to run away after killing those two citizens. Those were the dramatic images that we had played yesterday. The driver was caught by a brave constable. Listen in to Parvesh Kumar.
रोकने का इशारा भी किया लेकिन रुकी नहीं। आगे चल के जब उसने जैसे राइट टर्न लिया तो सामने से मैंने दोबारा से जब उसको सायरन यूज़ किया तो थोड़ा सा उसने स्लो भी किया। रोकने की जब सायरन बजाया तो थोड़ा स्लो किया, तो जैसे उसने स्लो किया तो मैं गाड़ी के सामने जो है मैंने अपनी बाइक लगा दी और उसने गाड़ी जैसे रोकी तो मैं बाइक से उतर के गाड़ी की चाबी मैंने निकाल ली और ठीक जैसे गाड़ी निकाल के मैंने उसको बाहर निकाल लिया और थाने में फ़ोन कर दिया और स्टाफ को बुला लिया। जैसे तीन को मारी तो और भी किसी को मार सकता था, तो किसी और को ना मारे इसलिए थोड़ा रिस्क तो लेना पड़ता है। अगर जैसे कोई राक्षस गाड़ी चला रहा है, ना सामने देख रहा है क्या आ रहा है, कुछ नहीं, बिल्कुल इतनी स्पीड में जैसे कोई राक्षस जा रहा है, बहुत तेज़ स्पीड से गाड़ी जा रही थी।
I want to go to our correspondent Jugal Purohit, who's been tracking this story for us. Jugal, we are told that this particular individual, the level of alcohol in his body was 3 to 4 times that is of a normal person that he can intake, of the level that is deemed normal. The question is, 6:30 a.m. in the morning, this individual was driving this car at this enormous speed, and but for this brave constable, might have got away. What are you getting a sense of? What is the government planning to do in such instances? The minister has been talking tough.
Well, Rajdeep, to begin with, it's not 3 or 4. In fact, the alcohol level, the content in his blood was actually above 5 times than what is permissible. So that's number one. Speaking about the different measures, Rajdeep, this isn't obviously the first and unfortunately won't be the last. We've been seeing a lot of tough talk by a lot of respective ministers, be it in Delhi, be it in Uttar Pradesh. We also had this morning an incident of a truck actually killing 4 people in an auto rickshaw very close, in fact, just outside Delhi. The fact is that, as Nitin Gadkari had announced about 3 days back, that India loses about 400 people every single day in road accidents. That's about 1.4 lakh people, which is far, far beyond what terrorism does kill. And yet we do not see enough appointments being made, enough policing, enough monitoring, enough use of CCTV and other equipment to ensure that there is the fear of breaking law among the drivers. Sad reality which seems to be missing all around.
Right. Well, we're going to keep tracking this. We hope to be joined tomorrow by the Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. He is promising to unveil his entire program to avoid road accidents, a special focus that we will have on this issue. So if you have concerns, please do write in to me. Tell me what you think should be done. I want to turn to the other big story that's been breaking this evening again, which in a sense reveals something that's wrong this time with our political system, because Union Human Resources Development Minister Smriti Irani now finds herself in an entirely avoidable controversy with Bihar's Education Minister Ashok Chaudhary on Twitter over the use of the National Education Policy. things turned bitter when Irani objected to Ashok Chaudhary calling her dear in one of his tweets. Ashok Chaudhary had said, "Dear Smriti Irani ji, when are you implementing your national new education policy of 2015? On that note, she objected to the use of the word dear and got into an unfortunate Twitter spat with the Bihar Education Minister. Tejasvi Yadav has also got into it because he has said that Ashok Chaudhary should not have been attacked for using the word dear. It is extremely unfortunate. Ashok Chaudhary is on the phone line with us, the Bihar Education Minister. What do you have to say, Mr. Chaudhary, to the manner in which today the HRD Minister has said you should not have been using the word dear in your conversation with her?
I don't know why she has reacted like that, because I have with full respect, I have tweeted that dear Smriti Irani, when the new education policy is going to come, because you have promised that it is going to come in 2015 and now it's a bit of 2016, and she has not answered that question, and she has said why you have written dear to written it dear to a lady. And I don't know why she has, because it can't be a double standard, no? Why? There are a lot of BJP people, she herself, she is writing a lot of people dear, but if I have written dear, she is reacting on that. I think she just wanted to divert the whole question which I have asked her, and she wanted to create a different story on that.
But Mr. Chaudhary, now Tejasvi Yadav has stepped in and said that you have been targeted because you belong to the Dalit community. Now, surely the last thing we need is this to be reduced to a caste war. You need to focus on the Bihar education mess, and she needs to focus on the country's new education policy, and the two of you need to work together rather than fighting with each other on Twitter. Would you agree?
Yeah, so definitely I agree with that, the people have given me, people have made this Mahagabandhan government. We should concentrate on work because we are answerable to the people. But why she has answered, why she has given this kind of a double standard, just because of it, she is a government of India education minister, she can say anything, something like that. That is not acceptable, because we thought that it is demeaning. No, why she is writing this, that it means that being a...
So you use the word, you use the word dear as an aspect of respect. You're saying you are not in any way trying to disrespect Smriti Irani. Am I clear?
No, definitely not at all, because it is a word dear Smriti Irani ji. How can you... What else I tried?
Okay. I get your point of view. You say there was no disrespect meant. As I said, you need to focus on the education mess that we have exposed in Bihar. Smriti Irani needs to focus on a new education policy. The last thing that we need is two senior politicians squabbling like this on Twitter. Let's leave it there, Ashok Chaudhary. Let me turn to the next big story that we are looking at. A special Mumbai court has declared business tycoon Vijay Mallya today a proclaimed offender in a money laundering case following a petition by the Enforcement Directorate. The investigating agency has moved the court after the 60-year-old liquor baron ignored a series of orders to return to India to face investigations. Under the law, once the court names somebody a proclaimed offender, he is required in person to appear at a specified place and time within 30 days of the court order, failing which all his properties can be attached and sold by the government. The proclamation might make it easier for India to get Interpol to issue a red corner notice against Mr. Mallya and try and extradite him. Remember, earlier this week, the Enforcement Directorate had also attached Mallya's properties worth 1,411 crore rupees under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act in the Kingfisher Airlines IDBI Bank case. What does this mean? Let me go to our correspondent Anusha now. Anusha Soni joining me for the very latest. Anusha, what does it now really mean when Vijay Mallya today is declared a proclaimed offender? Does it really make it easier to extradite him? Because Narndra Modi was also declared a proclaimed offender last year.
Well, Rajdeep, as far as the legalities of this matter is concerned, yes, it is crucial that right now, officially, he has been declared as a proclaimed offender by the court of law. Now, what happens from here on is that India can now go ahead and make a formal request for his extradition. Now, we do have a treaty with the United Kingdom as far as the extradition process is concerned. However, we must remember that it's a judicial process, diplomatic process, which takes a very long time sometimes. At the same time, Mallya will have the opportunity and the option to challenge his extradition at the UK court. And this usually takes a very long time. However, one positive point which has gone in favor of the Enforcement Directorate is the fact that this proclaimed offender tag has been issued under the money laundering charges, which are a criminal offence in the UK and in India. And it's only under this clause that India could have claimed extradition. As far as the conditions of the treaty are concerned, we satisfy that. Now we'd have to wait and watch how does the diplomatic and the legal judicial process goes from here on.
Okay, we will wait and see where it goes, but clearly at the moment, this is a minor victory for the investigating agencies, getting Mr. Mallya declared a proclaimed offender. Let's turn to the day's top political story. As you can see in our new avatar, we focus largely on news, not on too much of noise. But the noise today has been created by the politics of the day. A day of controversies for the Aam Admi party. First, Arvind Kejriwal accusing Prime Minister Narendra Modi of deliberately conspiring to have his ministers disqualified over Office of Profit Bill, claiming that it is the Modi government which is targeting his government and his MLAs. But it came on a day when Arvind Kejriwal was on the back foot after his transport minister, Gopal Rai, mysteriously resigned. This amidst reports that Mr. Rai was being charged with corruption and would be brought before the Anti-Corruption Bureau in the manner in which certain road contracts had been given. And then in the evening, Delhi Minister Satyendra Jain has written to Anil Ambani, the Reliance boss, complaining about Delhi's power crisis and insisting that Mr. Ambani appear in person before the minister to submit a roadmap as to what needs to now happen. So on all three counts, the Aam Admi party making the headlines for the wrong reasons, some would say. Of course, the big story was the man Pranab Mukherjee's rejection of a bill passed by the Delhi government to exempt 21 parliament secretaries from the purview of Office of Profit has meant that those MLAs could be disqualified and will have to face re-election. Arvind Kejriwal today launched his severest attack yet on Prime Minister Modi, accusing him and the Lieutenant Governor Najib Jung of not allowing the Delhi government to function. The BJP hit back, saying Kejriwal is obsessed with the Prime Minister. It's our top political story tonight.
एक्स्ट्रा रेन्यूमरेशन चाहिए, लाल बत्ती गाड़ी चाहिए, अलग से कमरा और घर चाहिए, ये सेवा है.
It's a full-blown war between the AAP government in Delhi and the BJP. Arvind Kejriwal hitting out at the Prime Minister after President Pranab Mukherjee refused to give his nod to a bill seeking to protect 21 MLAs of the AAP appointed as Parliament Secretaries. Experts say that the law passed by the Assembly is not in sync with the current law on Office of Profit. The move by the President has also raised questions on the fate of the 21 AAP MLAs who now face a possible disqualification. The Kejriwal government appointed 21 MLAs as parliamentary secretaries after Delhi Assembly passed the contentious bill last year, which was meant to exclude the post of parliamentary secretaries from the list of Office of Profit. Rejecting the bill, the President has referred the issue to the Election Commission, which has apparently expedited the process of issuing notices to the legislators now. The hearing on the matter is expected to begin next month. Constitutional experts believe lawmakers automatically stand disqualified and the state government has no power to amend the law without consultation with the Lieutenant Governor.
अगर कोई भी सदस्य ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट अंडर द गवर्नमेंट होल्ड करता है तो वो डिस्क्वालीफाई किया जा सकता है.
The Congress even asked Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal to resign from his post, taking moral responsibility.
अरविंद केजरीवाल मुख्यमंत्री दिल्ली तथ्यों के विपरीत बात कर रहे हैं तो नैतिकता का तकाजा है कि उनको भी इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए.
It's interesting that back in 2015, the Calcutta High Court struck down a similar move by the West Bengal state government to create more positions for the parliamentary secretaries of that state. Back in 2009, a similar order was given by the Bombay High Court. The only hope and the only tenable argument for the Aam Admi party right now is the fact that they have taken away all the perks and the remuneration from these posts, in a way quelling down the concerns of the Office of Profit. However, this entire debate will have to be settled at the Election Commission and subsequently at the Supreme Court of India. With camera person Vicky, this is Anusha Soni for India Today.
Now, this is not the first time Arvind Kejriwal has got into a full-blown war with Prime Minister Modi. He's called him a psychopath, accused him of derailing his government. There's a bitter history between him and the Prime Minister. Take a look.
प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं केजरीवाल नक्सली है। मैं नक्सली दिखता हूं जी आप लोगों को? प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं केजरीवाल को जंगल भेज दो। ये ठीक बात है भाई साहब।
यही बेनियाबाग में नरेंद्र मोदी जी आए और खुले में जनता के सामने नरेंद्र मोदी जी के साथ डिबेट हो जाए। हम भी जानना चाहते हैं गुजरात में कितना विकास हुआ था।
20 बैंक में किसका अकाउंट है, उसके अकाउंट नंबर जेब में लेकर के घूमते थे। उन्हें ये मालूम नहीं कि उनके अकाउंट में किसके पैसे आते हैं, बोले हमें मालूम नहीं। जब अंदरूनी बातें करते हैं तो कहते हैं अरे भाई छोड़ो, आखिरकार 24 घंटे का सवाल होता है। आप आज एक झूठ फेंको, लोग उसकी सच्चाई खोज करके आएंगे, तब तक 24 घंटे में दूसरा झूठ फेंक देंगे।
The bitter war between Arvind Kejriwal and Prime Minister Modi. But is Kejriwal fighting a losing battle this time, or does he have a case? Ashutosh, spokesperson of the Aam Admi Party with me. GVL Narasimha Rao is the national spokesperson BJP. Yogendra Yadav of the Swaraj Abhiyan and TSR Subrahmanyam, the former cabinet secretary, is with me. Let me get you first though, Yogendra Yadav, because I know you have limited time. Let me ask you the simple question. Why is it that you and others who have been critics of Arvind Kejriwal believe that Mr. Kejriwal is in the wrong in this instance? Arvind Kejriwal says not a single of those ministers has actually got any financial benefit from this Office of Profit. They are only parliamentary secretaries. If Sheila Dikshit could amend the law retrospectively, if other state governments could do it, if the Congress could do it in the case of Sonia Gandhi, why should the Aam Admi Party not be allowed to do it? How do you respond to what Mr. Kejriwal says?
That's a very fair statement, Rajdeep. Actually, if Aam Admi Party were to say, look, we are like every other party, Congress does it, BJP does it, Akalis does it, we have also done it, that's all right. I think that itself is enough of an indictment. Here is a party which came and said, we shall change the norms of politics. Politics is corrupt, we are different, and for that party to say, Akalis do it, we also do it, I think that itself is enough. I think it's a very fair assessment that Aam Admi Party has done nothing which other parties have not done. This political corruption is being practiced across state, across parties. Aam Admi Party has simply done what others are doing.
No, what is the corruption
between Aam Admi Party and others was
what is the
Aam
corruption?
Admi Party did it in a way which was slightly stupid.
What is the corruption?
नकल करते हुए भी अकल नहीं की.
What is the corruption?
Corruption here is that there is a law. Yeah, the corruption is that there is a constitutional limit to how many ministers you would have. And every political party has been using a backdoor of parliamentary secretaries in order to recruit people in a minister-like positions. So basically the idea is that political patronage is being distributed, exactly defying the spirit of the constitutional amendment, which was to limit political patronage, which is what everyone does. And as I was saying, Aam Admi Party did it, बस वो नकल करने में अकल नहीं इस्तेमाल की. They got trapped in a wrong foot. Technically what they have done is completely wrong, and for that if you need one proof, the simple proof is their own Amendment Act. The bill that they brought out in the month of June, that is a final admission of guilt. If they indeed have not violated the profit of office thing, why did they need to have that bill, and why are they so upset about President rejecting it? They simply have to go to the Election Commission. Election Commission would okay what they have done. They don't need to relate to Mr. Modi, Jung. They are completely irrelevant. It is Election Commission that prevails. And that's my final point, Rajdeep. And that's the devious politics here. Instead of going to the people and saying, oh my God, we were disqualified by the Election Commission of India. I mean, you have no leg to stand on if you say something of that kind. But if you go back and say, oh, we were rejected by Mr. Modi has done it to us, then there's a lot of scope for theatrics and so on, which is what I think is being played out. So Aam Admi Party is doing exactly the same unethical thing that others were doing, except that it's a little more stupid and a little more devious than others.
You know, Ashutosh, that is a severe indictment. This is not a Modi Bhakt who's speaking. This is not a BJP leader who's speaking. This is Yogendra Yadav, your former colleague. He says you have lost the tag of being a party with a difference. You've been unethical. You've committed an illegal act. And even while doing it, while doing nakal, you have shown no akal. This is as severe an indictment of the Aam Admi Party. It's coming from Yogendra Yadav, not from a Modi Bhakt, Ashutosh.
राजदीप, मैं सारी बातों को सुन रहा था और मुझे सुनकर थोड़ी हंसी आ रही थी कि आप योगेंद्र यादव से अब इससे ज्यादा क्या उम्मीद कर सकते हैं?
No, why?
जिनको पार्टी तोड़ने, no, let me complete, Rajdeep. Let me complete. I did not utter a word when Yogendra Yadav was speaking. Somebody who has been thrown out of the party, do you think that he will come and appreciate us and praise us? From the day he has been thrown out of the party for the anti-party activities, he has been spitting venom and venom.
No, respond to the specifics.
Of language.
Respond to the specifics.
No, Rajdeep,
respond to the specifics.
Don't be unfair to me. Don't be unfair to me. I did not utter a word when Yogendra Yadav was saying all kinds of rubbish. So I do not know when the politicians and when they're lost in the wilderness, they are looking for their relevance by abusing and
the language on your show?
No, let's not use personal language.
Yes.
No, let's respond to specifics.
Let's
not make it personal.
No, Rajdeep.
No, specifics.
Rajdeep, when Yogendra Yadav, Yogendra Yadav was saying nakal karne ke liye akal chahiye, what was he saying? Was it not a personal allegation? Was it not being personal? What right he has got to preach us कि नकल करने के लिए अकल चाहिए? I was listening all that. I'm not a fool. I do understand what language he's trying to use, and I know Yogendra Yadav. So Rajdeep, let's come to the fact.
Yes.
Mr. Yogendra Yadav has been saying that about here are the MLAs who have not been given a single perk, and let me read the notification. These parliamentary secretaries will not be eligible any remuneration or any perks of any kind from the government, meaning no burden on the exchequer. Your reporter can go and verify these facts, and he is finding it's corrupt practices. Just because you have been thrown up to the party, so you will spit.
So why were they made parliamentary secretaries? Why were they made parliamentary secretaries then?
Sir.
Why were they made for administrative reasons? Did you need 21 parliamentary secretaries? Was this distribution of political patronage or not?
Rajdeep, you use a conventional wisdom for the political patronage. Mr. BJP and the Congress, they are used to using this kind of political patronages. But you see, what are they getting any salary? Are they getting any compensatory allowances? Are they getting any house rent? Are they getting any official rent? Are they getting any clerk? Are they getting any peon? Are they getting any office of any kind? Are they getting any kind of salary? None. None. And these are all
no petrol allowance, no petrol allowance, no car, nothing. No, not a single allowance.
Nothing. Not a single allowance. Not a single.
Yogendra Yadav, you want to quickly respond? Let Yogendra Yadav respond. He used the word corruption. He used the word corruption. Let him respond. He has accused you. Yogendra Yadav, Ashutosh is saying not a single allowance. And then I'll give you GBL.
Because Yogendra Yadav has no other business than to look relevance by criticizing Arvind Kejriwal day and night. He's looking for political relevance. That is why he's coming on the TV channels and accusing us and abusing us.
Yogendra Yadav, respond. Because, you know, while Ashutosh may have used harsh language, you also said nakal karne mein bhi akal nahi thi.
Rajdeep,
now,
what I cannot do is to...
No, the specifics. Where is the corruption is the question that is being raised by Ashutosh.
Don't portray yourself as a saint, Mr. Yogendra Yadav. Don't portray yourself as a saint.
Yeah, let Yogendra Yadav respond. Let's not make it personal. We'll come to the hard facts. I'll bring you in GBL. Respond, Yogendra Yadav.
What I cannot, Ashutosh Bhai, I would try and obey your commands. What I cannot do is to use that kind of gali galoj.
No, you don't get personal, I will not get personal.
I would have to learn it from you. I will try.
You don't get
personal, please.
This is not my language.
Please, gentlemen,
I cannot use
let's
this
show
language.
some civility with each other. Please. All I'm asking of you all is let's stick to the facts.
Rajdeep, the one thing that I expect on your Yeah, the one, Rajdeep, the
Yes.
one thing I expect in your show,
Yes.
I mean, I understand this is the cost of being in public life, that you have to face all kinds of people and all kinds of abuses. I normally don't expect it on your show, and I would really hope that I don't have to face this in future in your show. When I say nakal karne
I
mein
also
akal
don't
nahi
expect
thi,
these
I
language from
actually
you,
mean
Mr. Yogendra.
exactly this.
Yes.
I'm saying every party does it. Congress and BJP have no... Can I speak?
Yeah, Congress and BJP do it. Yes, go ahead.
What
But
can
isn't
I
there a
do?
difference?
I mean, this is not what
Is-
I mean,
isn't there a
I
difference between
cannot match you in shouting.
No, no, sir. Isn't there a
I
difference
was
between...
saying Congress and BJP does not have a leg to stand on because they have done exactly these things. In fact, Congress has done it with a retrospective effect, exactly the same crime that Aam Admi Party today stands accused of. Congress has no leg to stand on. Even in fact, BJP has also done it in Jharkhand. So all parties practice it. But when a party which claims to be different does it, then you simply say, all right, is everyone going to do the same thing? And the only reason I say akal nahi ki, which
Where
is
is the
that
corruption?
everyone else either
Where
made
is the
sure that they
corruption?
had
No,
a
no,
law
Ashutosh,
before they did
no,
it, so
let him
technically they
finish
were on
and
the
I'll come
right
to you.
side, or they made sure that they had the president who would... Rajdeep, I think your colleague, former colleague, is missing his role as an anchor. Maybe you should hand him over the mic and he should be the anchor of the show, and then I can decide whether I have to participate in this show or not.
You know, this
Otherwise, I can speak.
No, no, no.
The
Please
corruption
speak.
here
Yes,
is
go ahead.
exactly this, that political patronage is being distributed. There is the practice of distributing political patronage, appointing large number of mantris. This is what was stopped with the constitution amendment. They said you cannot have more than 10% ministers. Every political party then started using a backdoor. The backdoor is parliamentary secretaries. You appointed 1, then 2, then 15, then 20, which violates the spirit of the constitutional amendment. And the corruption is distributing these benefits and perks of being a mantri-like, of being able to influence decision by occupying certain offices. This is exactly why the law was brought. This is exactly what the Supreme Court objects to, and I think this is what the Election Commission would also object to. But let Election Commission decides.
Let me come though to this distribution of largesse and GVL Narasimha Rao. The question at the moment is how is the Aam Admi Party different from the BJP or the Congress? Today the BJP is targeting the Aam Admi Party on the office of profit issue. In Jharkhand you brought in a similar bill. Are we saying that for Aam Admi Party the rules will be different to what it is in Jharkhand? What the rule should be in a Gujarat, what the rule should be in any other state, what the rule should be for a Sonia Gandhi when it comes to a Congress? Yes, in this case, because of Delhi statehood, you need to get it ratified by the president. But if they are not getting any monetary benefits, why should the Delhi government be denied the right to have these 21 parliament secretaries is the question.
Yeah, Rajdeep.
Yes.
We are in a constitutional democracy where we have to function within the parameters, within the framework of the constitution, and we have a set of laws that bind us not to appoint so many secretaries. You cannot issue tughlaki farmans and then assume power to yourself, and with arrogance you cannot take decisions, and it will fall flat on your face.
No,
And
so
then
are
if
we
they
saying,
think they have
are
done
we saying
nothing
that
wrong,
when the BJP
if
does
this
it,
does
it is
not
okay, when the
constitute
Congress,
office of profit,
when the
then let me
BJP does
finish.
it, it is
No, no,
okay, it
just
is not a
let me
Tughlaki
finish.
Farman.
Let
It
me
is only
finish.
when Arvind Kejriwal does it that it becomes a Tughlaki Farman.
No, it's no, your comparison is completely irrelevant, invalid. I think here the question is, they have been questioned by the Election Commission of India. They have done it without a law in place, without a suitable provision in law. So how can they blame anybody else for this?
I
think
take
you
that
cannot,
point.
for the lust
I
of
take
power,
your point. And Ashutosh, I want you to respond to
for
that
the
before
lust
I
of
come to
power,
TSR.
You
Subramaniam.
distribute largesse,
So
and you want to blame the center.
I take your point.
I think it's delusion of Arvind Kejriwal's grandeur, it's his own paranoia about the Prime Minister, and his own failure as a Chief Minister of Delhi, which prompts him to do this morning to evening. What he was accusing Yogendra of, I'm accusing Ashutosh and his leader of the same phobia. they have to take Mr. Modi's name, otherwise nobody covers them in the news. They are so irrelevant.
Ashutosh, respond.
They are also
Sir, let
scared
him
of
respond.
facing the electorate. Should by-elections happen? He is scared because he is not governed Delhi.
Okay, Ashutosh, how is Narendra Modi responsible for this controversy? The file is signed by the president. It moves through the LG's office. At no stage, the election commission will eventually take the final decision. At no stage is Narendra Modi personally involved in this. Yet, since morning, Aam Admi Party is saying this is Mr. Modi's conspiracy. Why are you blaming Mr. Modi?
I think you will give me enough time to respond to this.
Yes.
Rajiv, do you know that 23 bills has been passed by the Delhi Assembly? 23 bills. The 4 of them were the bill of appropriation. Those are money bills. So that could not be stopped. 19 bills has been lying with the LG and the Home Ministry for the last more than a year. What does it mean? The democratically elected Delhi Assembly has been turned into an irrelevant institution.
No, but the Office of Profit. Let's talk about Office of Profit. Are you saying the President of India is a rubber stamp? Are you saying President of India is a rubber stamp working under Narendra Modi's instructions?
Rajdeep, let me complete. Any Prime Minister in his good senses would have either these bills would have been rejected or would have been accepted within 10-15 days or 30 days. They have been lying for more than a year. What are they doing? And do you also know that the President of this country works only aid and advice of the Council of Ministers led by the Prime Minister? So the President has no other option than to sign. He can, at the most, he can reject once. But if it comes back again, he has no other option than to accept. According to the parliamentary democracy of this country, according to the parliamentary democracy of this country, the Westminster form of the democracy in this country, the President is nothing else but a rubber stamp. He uses can use his discretion rarely. And according to that definition, that in 1975, if emergency was imposed, if emergency was imposed in 1975, that means it was imposed by Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad or by Indira Gandhi.
Just a minute. You made your point. You made your point. Ashutosh, you have made your point. Let TSR Subramaniam, who I hope is the one. No, 1 minute. Who's the neutral person completely unaffected by the politics of this to respond to that. Here you have an Office of Profit controversy. And immediately it has become Chief Minister versus Prime Minister. Should it be seen purely in constitutional terms as a constitutional illegality committed by Mr. Kejriwal, which the Election Commission will decide on, rather than look at it as a conspiracy theory? Is Mr. Kejriwal right in saying that the Delhi government is being victimized?
Well, you see, various political parties have their own perspectives.
Yes.
They want to use every situation to their own advantage in different manner.
Yes.
For me, the issue is not even so much the distribution of perks. It is not so much the issue of Office of Profit. For me, there is a fundamental difference between Delhi and other union territories along with the states of India. They belong to different schedules in the constitution. So we are now confusing the issue here of Andhra or
so it's
Kerala.
What you are saying, it's a constitutional discrimination that Delhi suffers
Wait a minute. Delhi is a union territory. It is part of the government of India. The ultimate manager of Delhi, just like Andaman, just like Diu, Daman, the 7 territories. Let us not confuse. The fundamental is this. The schedule has not been amended. In the Delhi Act, the original schedule, so just if you call an ant a jumbo, it does not become an elephant. In fact, the de facto position, if you want to see it seriously, is like this. Delhi government has less powers than Brihan Mumbai or Bangalore Corporation. Lot of the authority and powers has been distributed among various other people, and for union territories, in the 2 earlier case of Pondicherry and now of Delhi, any bill to be passed has to be approved by the government of India.
So you're saying, in a sense, Mr. Kejriwal should have recognized his limitations, and therefore be more careful before appointing 21 parliament secretaries.
I am nobody to give political advice.
Yes.
But there are 2 choices available. In a situation of confrontation between the local administration and the parent administration of the government of India,
yes,
either you go with them, like Sheila, ABCD, and then ensure that what you want to get done, or you have a confrontational course, which is probably aimed at the future.
Okay, so you're looking at it more, you're saying Mr. Kejriwal perhaps should have recognized his limitations and not gone in for confrontation, perhaps. That would be...
Or he's not building for the future.
Or he's building for the future. I'll come back to you, Ashutosh, on that. But GVL Narasimha Rao, you wanted to get a word in. The worry is that this is now becoming an endemic center versus state government battle.
It is not a state government. It is union territory. It belongs to the government of India.
The union territory of Delhi.
It belongs to the government of India.
Is there a paranoia on both sides? The paranoia that Aam Admi party has about Narendra Modi's government is matched by the BJP believing that Arvind Kejriwal could be your long-term political rival. He has to be finished. And therefore, from time to time, find ways to make it impossible for him to govern Delhi.
I think this is the kind of a delusion that Aam Admi party suffers from. I think they are a party limited to union territory. He has been elected with a big majority and he will stay Chief Minister of Delhi. But every constitutional functionary, be it a Chief Minister of a UT or a Chief Minister of a full-fledged state or Prime Minister, they all have to work within the framework of the Constitution. What if tomorrow Kejriwal appoints 5 Chief Ministers for Delhi and says they will not receive salary? What's the problem? Why is the central government stopping me from having 5 Chief Ministers to function very effectively? You cannot run according to your whims and fancy.
Ashutosh, you have to respond
to that. There is a constitutional scheme of things.
There is a constitution. You have to work according to the constitution. The constitution does not, if the constitution does not allow you to have 21 parliamentary secretaries, if it is seen as an office of profit, you have to accept it. Or you go to the courts and challenge it, or you go to the election commission and challenge it. You can't, you have every right to go to the election commission, you have every right to go to the courts, but why make this into a confrontation between you and Narendra Modi?
See, Rajdeep,
yes.
If I heard rightly, GVL Narasimha Rao was saying that Arvind Kejriwal can appoint 5 Chief Ministers. I think anybody who knows basics of the Constitution knows this is not done. Where it is written that Delhi government cannot appoint the parliamentary secretary. No. I know. It hurts you. GVL Narasimha Rao, it hurts you. It hurts you. The fact is, retrospective legislation, if it is followed by the central government led by Manmohan Singh, then it is okay. Retrospective legislation, if it is done by Sheila Dikshit government in 2006, it's okay. If retrospective legislation, if it is done by Jharkhand BJP government, it is okay. Retrospective legislation, if it is done by Ajit Jogi, accepted by the election commission, it is okay. But if Aam Admi party government does, then there is a problem. Why there is a problem? Why it is anti-constitutional? Why it is not as per the constitution? The constitution, the parliamentary democracy runs on the basis of the constitutional procedures and the parliamentary conventions and the practice. There is a well-established parliamentary
GVL quickly respond.
Practice.
GVL quickly respond to this. No, Ashutosh, let him respond. You made your point. Ashutosh, GVL, one last time respond. Are you getting an undue benefit at the center which you are denying an Arvind Kejriwal? Yeah. You can legislate retrospectively. He is not allowed to do so.
No, I think Rajdeep, just because I think this is an analogy which is not relevant, but for the sake of understanding, let me say this. If somebody commits a murder and gets a capital punishment and gets a reprieve from the President of India, every murderer cannot claim I should be given a reprieve. I demand it. Nobody can demand it. A rule of law cannot function. I think if it was within your powers to appoint 21 secretaries, nobody could have stalled you. I think even now you can go and challenge it in election commission or in a court of law. Central government is not the last word on anything. You can go to even the Supreme Court. But if you are in the wrong, I think you take the responsibility for your blunders. This is yet another opportunity for Kejriwal to apologize to the people of Delhi for having blundered and for having fallen for the lust of office and for distributing patronage among his MLAs.
No, 1 minute. There are lots of words being used by the two politicians. I want to get a wise old man to give me the final word, a wise young man, as I put it, TSR Subramaniam. The fact is, are we reaching the stage where the constitution of this country is being used and abused by political parties to suit their own purposes? And this is another example of it.
It is. I think the wise thing should now be for the Aam Admi Delhi government to go to Supreme Court, please hear our petition quickly, decide it this way or the other, so that the legal position is established. What are the powers? My reading of the law, as far as I see it, is that for form's sake, it has got an assembly. In de facto, the assembly's powers are constricted by the MHA. This is my reading. They should go to Supreme Court. Till then, I think it's not a lot of drama.
Stop the public war of words. Stop the public war of words. Avoid the political drama.
On the other hand, the war of word apparently is very helpful for the future.
That's right, because obviously Arvind Kejriwal is a politician. You've been a cabinet secretary. Cabinet secretaries will always resort to the bureaucratic way of doing things. Politicians will be politicians. Let's leave it there. Ashutosh, Arvind Kejriwal, Yogendra Yadav, GVL Narasimha Rao and TSR Subramaniam, appreciate your joining us. My take, where do I stand? The office of profit issue has left Arvind Kejriwal and his government badly wounded. This is not just about 21 Aap MLAs facing disqualification. This is about the political morality of trying to make an Aam Admi. Welcome back. Let's turn to the big political meeting that took place that could have huge implications. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha arriving in Delhi for the first time since her victory in the polls last month, meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi at 7 Racecourse Road. It fueled speculations of a potential alliance between the two leaders, but more importantly, has also triggered off speculation over whether Jayalalitha will fall in line with the government on the big goods and services tax issue that the government is hoping to push during next month's monsoon session of Parliament. Jayalalitha had various demands, of course, before the government, with a 29-point agenda that included exempting Tamil Nadu from the NEET National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, resuming Jalaikatta and preventing Karnataka from building a dam across the Mekadattu, and also demanding that Tamil be made one of the official languages. But it's GST that is the big issue. Listen into what Finance Minister Arun Jaitley had to say.
Virtually every state has supported the idea of GST. There's one state which has said that even though they have reservations on the GST, but they have how to make it implementable from their point of view, that is the state of Tamil Nadu, they have offered a few suggestions.
Let me go straight to our correspondent Rohini Swami, who's been tracking Jayalalitha for us. Rohini, tell us, are you getting a sense that Jayalalitha could fall in line, maybe some give and take, some kind of compromise, give support to GST in return for something for Tamil Nadu, or is that ruled out?
Well, that's a little difficult. It may be almost ruled out because we've seen how Jayalalitha has maintained her stand when it comes to GST. All through, she has opposed GST, and she said that it affects the fiscal autonomy of a state, especially a manufacturing state like Tamil Nadu. It will definitely dent the revenues, and that is why she's been taking that stand all through. Even the memorandum that she submitted to Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, she has talked about amendments that can be made and a broader perspective be taken on the GST. So very clearly, at this point of time, where the NDA is trying to rope in Jayalalitha and the AIADMK, it looks very difficult because now she's also hoping that the recommendations she's made at least be put in place.
And you believe that that Jayalalitha will therefore stick to her stand on opposing GST? Will she at least be ready for a diluted form of GST?
Well, she definitely looks to be that she is going to stick to her stand because that is what she has been doing all these years, and specifically here also in the meeting, my sources who I've been talking to also have said that she very clearly told the Prime Minister that the stand that the AIADMK and as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, she feels that GST will affect the autonomy and the purses of the state, especially of Tamil Nadu, and they're looking more at this, that the fact that the centre should now look at the state and their revenues and not affect it directly. So it is very difficult, right. But at the same point of time, maybe a diluted version, that is the recommendations she is given, that will be a matter of debate. Even on June 18th, there's an AIADMK Executive Council meeting. So that there'll be more debate on that.
Okay, let's leave it there. Rohini Swami telling us what could happen, trying to lead the tea in the leaves of the AIADMK. Appreciate your joining us there from Bengaluru.